Just brought something to my attention. I was writing about the Svetlana and the Superman and the cape. Here's the thing, amongst other reasons, there's a cape, C-A-P-E. It is the port, P-O-R-T, that a wooden Ironside ship used to dock, D-O-C-K, the S-H-I-P of W-O-O-D. At port, P-O-R-T. I think they even said port bow, P-O-R-T-B-O-W. When the ships would put, then you'd go to then you get onto land, and then it would be L-A-N-D, right? And you walk. But then there is, for the Catwoman's extra special love of her life, Superman, he wears a cape as a superhero. S-U-P-E-R, H-E-R-O, wears a C-A-P-E. Reason why Catwoman and Superman are husband and wife is because he flies. F-L-Y-S. Simple superhero. He's got X-ray vision. X-R-A-Y-V-I-S-I-O-N. He flies, which is an important thing that he's got. He can bend steel. B-E-N-D-S-T-E-E-L. Yeah, he's like all area best husband ever. And not that he's like, but Batman's still important too, because he protects Catwoman in Dads That I Love in Other Area projects. And that's that Big Daddy Russia project of, Batman wears a cape, B-A-T-M-A-N-C-A-P-E. That Batman in Russia who wears a cape, important. I can tell you, however, I don't know about Batman's cape. I've heard in history that they had a king or two, but my Superman, who has a cape, they used to call the cape, in other areas, their translation was the King's Robe. K-I-N-G-S-R-O-B-E. Problem with that is, in a modern world, we switched to a cape instead of a robe, because the robe is what you wear over your dressing linens, D-R-E-S-S-I-N-G-L-I-N-E-S, before bed, B-E-F-O-R-E-B-E-D, before you retire for the night. So that did not give the correct thought of a king. You don't want to think of him in his evening bedroom wear. So we switched the word from King's Robe, K-I-N-G-S-R-O-B-E, to a cape for a superhero in this modern mess that they don't know there's any kings anywhere on the planet. They don't exist, according to anybody in New York. My father, I asked him when I was little, he met somebody who said that he was a king, and he was in a king's part, and then in the car ride home, my dad, that was Mark King's father, which, was, undercover Nicklaus as, normal public school kid like his wife, being that he's a superhero, whatever. But his dad was like, I'm, where I come from, in Europe, I'm a king. And my father was like, yeah? He's like, no, right, I know you mentioned that was your last name. And he's like, no, I know that's right. So this way, he's like, but, no, right, and then it got weird, and I was trying to listen, but again, the science around me was just not working. It was like a twisty, like a cookie cutter, trying to like as if like they had a bug jar that they put on top of a firefly so she couldn't hear, and then they were moving the air, so it was just, I was having such a hard time trying to concentrate. It was just like, whatever, supernatural, paranormal, like real fucking bullshit to do to a kid, but whatever. And then in the car ride home, I was speaking to my dad, and my dad's like, Nicole, he's like, and I'm like, but yeah, but your family said that you were a prince. No, you told me, no told you you were a prince. He's like, well, that's what they said. He's like, but, you know, he's like, there's no such thing as kings. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, aren't you the man that read me the book about all the fairy tales about the princess and the kings and the prince and stuff, Dad? You're telling me like all the books you read to me, those were all lies? And he goes, oh, he's like, stop, Nicole. He's like, he's like, you're trying to make me look bad. Make you look bad? What, American? What are you talking about? I was like, you lived in Europe. I mean, I know, I get like mom's American people are all white trash and stupid when it comes to royalty. I get that. I was like, I met grandma and the smokers and drinkers. I was like, but you're from Europe. Like, I expect better. And they called you a prince. I said, I expect better from you. What do you mean there's no, when was the last time they had kings that walked this earth, Dad? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm only like one step ahead of Mom, being that I was born in Europe. He's like, I don't really know. He's like, it's not like I have friends or contacts there. He's like, for all intended purposes, I'm an American too. And I'm like, oh, fucking Christ. I'm like, great. I was like, thanks for the words of encouragement, Dad. So I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be married to some kind of American white trash, and I'm never going to get ahead in life, and I'm going to be dumb as bricks. That's what you're telling me, Dad? Because we just met a king, and you're telling him he doesn't exist. I'd like for him to exist, because then at least I have, like, hope in the world. I was like, but my dad's telling me to shoot lower, more like my mom and white American trash, and don't get so excited about a European king, Nicole. It's like out of your whatever. Really? Because we were standing on the grass with him 5 minutes ago. Why are you telling me to shoot for white trash American losers? I'm just curious, because I don't think it's going to work out for me if that's, like, where you're really, like, thinking my future goes. Right, yeah, and here we are, 2020, and, my dad was right. Yeah, the one thing that was never supposed to happen was my father being correct about no kings exist, and I have now two shitty-ass marriages to two pieces of trash Americans that were good for nothing. They weren't smart, and whatever. So, here's looking on the bright side of being fucking human that I hate. Anyway, so, right, so that's why we took the robe out of king's robe, because, when you have a king and a whatever, you have to have, right, I mean, you have to have the right words, but I don't call it a king's robe anymore because it's also rob, R-O-B, which is like you're robbing the baby and the proper family from her Fred Flintstone cape, Elizabeth, sitting in that chair in that important spot and crowning yourself and stealing the cape, the staff, the crown, the whatever special goes along with it. You are actually wearing the king's robe because you robbed the number 3, being the full-time immortal queen's return and the bloodline that brings her back that we already know about, we already advised about, and you still seated the wrong cunt in the wrong royal everything, and you took a fancy picture with her coronation being the mortuary plan of we're going to kill everybody involved in keeping her there and placing her there after we already warned you how dangerous you were growing the world if that should be the case. From Colgate, by the way. Ample time to fix the mistake and not promise a crown and a special English-speaking title to a less than pedigree that's not an arm's length from the immortal goddess return. You didn't acknowledge the grandparents. You didn't acknowledge the parents. So, but yet you seated the wrong queen. Where I come from in Colgate, that is a direct disobedience of orders from the biggest, baddest queen you're ever going to meet. From super immortal whatever. I don't know why Batman and Superman are having trouble, like, killing a fucking cunt that stole from us, but here we are, and the world is fucking growing dangerous and stupid, and everybody's just sitting around having English tea, apparently. Except for me, who sits, like, starving, hungry, getting abused by science because all the fucking evil gooks from everybody's grandpa's wars that we fucking hated has no veteran affairs department in America that could keep the fucking enemy that they went overseas to kill from coming onto our shores and keeping me safe. Apparently, like, America stripped their U.S. veterans from having any homeland rights for some reason when God appeared. Elizabeth, you're fucking